Hi there. In this video tutorial, I'll show you how to create a virtual machine and install CentOS 7 or Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7 64-bit version. So let's start. Create a new virtual machine in Oracle VM VirtualBox Manager. Give a name to your new machine. Let's install Red Hat 7. Please note that you can install only 64-bit version of RHEL 7 or CentOS 7. It does not support 32-bit version. From type, Linux is already selected, version is already selected, RAM size, that is a physical memory size, 1 GB is sufficient. Create a new virtual hard disk now. I'll make it 20 GB large. Hard disk file type and dynamically allocated, both options are good for me. Click create. Let's make some changes to this virtual machine. Go to storage. Here you see this DVD icon and empty. Click here. Select the ISO image, that is the virtual DVD image of your operating system. So we can click this, choose virtual optical disk file. As I already done this exercise before, so my last selection is already remembered here, so I can select from here. Go to network. I want to make communication between my host and guest operating system, so I'll select host only adapter. Under advanced, I just want to make sure that cable connected is selected. The machine has been created. Now let's start it. As we are going to install the Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7.3, so let's select the first option and hit enter. Welcome to Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7.3. So here we need to select a language. I'm happy with this, English and United States. The interface is quite user friendly and quite different from what we see in Red Hat Enterprise Linux 6 or CentOS 6. Under localization, date and time, click here. Select your region, or you can use this map and find your location, or select from these drop down menus. Ensure that the time is correctly shown here and click done. Under software selection, you have many options available here. I'll go with this last one, server with GUI. So I get a desktop environment as well as a server environment. In the right panel, you see there are additional features or add-ons available. According to your requirement, you can select or deselect them. I'll select these development tools and compatibility libraries. We can install any application we want later on. Let's click done here. Next, let's select this installation destination under system. The disk we created is already selected here. Partitioning. This is very important because if you go by this automatically configure partitioning, then partitions will be automatically created. If we want to manually create them or modify them, we can select this option. So let's select it and hit done here. So we can get some help here by automatically creating the partitions first and then modifying them. So the partitions have been created. Now we can adjust them according to our requirements. For example, the swap space is about 2 GB large and I don't want it to be that much large. Just in case you didn't know, swap is the virtual memory, which is the double of the RAM size. We selected 1 GB as the physical RAM for this virtual machine, hence we see about 2 GB the swap space. I'll make it just 500 MB large because I know I'm not going to run heavy applications or services. Next, this boot device, okay, fine. The main partition denoted by the / is also called the root partition. 17 GB large, I'll make it 15 GB large. Update my settings. Now I have about 3.5 GB of available disk space, so I'll create some partitions. Click plus here, bound point. I'll create this partition to hold all the data of /home directory. I'll make it 500 MB large because I'm not going to have too many users. I'll add one more partition to hold all temporary files and make it about 1 GB large. Rest of the space I'll give to another partition called /var or var. So I have 2068. So let's do that. 0.97. I'm happy with this partitioning. You can create partitions according to your requirement. When you are done, click done. Confirm your changes. Network and host name. Let's turn on the network interface. This is the IP we are getting for this virtual machine or guest operating system. Please remember I selected host only adapter. So that gives me a DHCP configuration by default. If we want to make changes, we can click configure. Under IPv4 you see DHCP is already selected. So I'm happy with this. I'm not making any changes. If we want to give a name to our host and domain name here, we can do that. I leave them for now because we can make those changes later on. Begin installation. Installation is in progress. Here we need to provide these two inputs. We need to set the root password. Root is the administrator account. That is the main account. And and it will be created by default as usual, and we need to give it a strong password. So user creation, we are not using the root account for general activities, so it's a good idea to create an ordinary account or a general account. This username will be used as the login name. See, here you can make this user account as administrator. Click done. I have to click again done because I'm giving a weak password. Installation is in process. It will take some time. So I'm going to pause and I'll come back. Installation process has finished. We see this message complete here. Let's reboot the guest machine or guest operating system. We just need to do some finishing up steps here. First, license, we need to acknowledge or accept it. Click done. Subscription manager is used when you want to register your system and get official support from the service provider, that is Red Hat. Network and hostname not connected. Let's do this step here. Please recall that when we were setting up the installation and we saw this network settings, I forgot to click the configure and go to general and then select automatically connect to this network when it is available. So it was unchecked. That's why we see it coming up here again. So let's do that here now. Click done. Finish the configuration. The user account we created is listed here. Enter the password. Welcome screen. Let's click next. Let's click next. Skip. Okay. Start using Red Hat Enterprise Linux server now. Let's close this. Getting started. Let's go to applications and under utilities, click terminal. Let's use df command to see all the partitions, and as we can see, the partitions we manually created are all here. Let's hit pwd command to see the current directory. So you see the user account we created, that is demo, it has its home directory created under /home. We kept the /home directory on a separate partition of its own, so all user data will be under this directory only. Let's quickly create one more account. As we know, we have made this account administrator, so we can use sudo command. Let's try to do it without typing the sudo. Let's create this user account. You see permission denied, so we need to prefix the command with sudo, which means super user 2, just in case you didn't know. need to provide the password for the account demo only. Let's see if the account has been created. Yes, the account has been created. Let's set a password for this new account. Let's close this terminal. Go here. From demo user, let's log out. You can see the new account is listed here. Click it. Enter the password. Using Oracle VM VirtualBox Manager, we have created a virtual machine. We have installed a guest operating system inside it. The operating system we just installed is Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7 or 7.3. As I told you, we can install only 64-bit version. If you want to install a 32-bit version of CentOS or Red Hat Enterprise Linux, then you can probably go for version 6. Please also note that your desktop or laptop might provide support for hardware virtualization. If you do not see a 64-bit version when you create the machine, then it is probably disabled in BIOS. Enter the BIOS of your laptop or desktop and enable it. In one of my previous tutorials, I have already covered how to install CentOS 6. So you can probably watch that video tutorial also if you want to install CentOS 6. Thanks for watching.